So I read you a quote earlier from Kevin Durant where he
Mhm.
effectively, in the second time in like 4 months, called himself a god. I don't know how I feel about Kevin Durant continually calling himself a god. Like I just I and it goes with what we just talked about with Kyrie Irving. It's like their opinions of themselves are higher than they should be. Now, this is coming from a guy who has a big ego. You have a big ego because you're highly intellectual. But calling yourself God 2 times in a 4 month period, I don't understand it. He seems to be a little butthurt because he was responding to Charles Barkley saying that the Golden State Warriors didn't need him. There's a lot of truth there. So it's really a lot of truth there. Um, so collectively, between Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant, who are currently teammates, we don't know for how much longer. Do you think their egos are just? It's okay to have a big ego, but do you think both their egos are just a bit overinflated at this point?
I mean, from our perspective, like how I feel as a human, like how I judge these things, absolutely. But
Okay.
like maybe Kevin Durant has a really low floor for what he considers gods. Like maybe he like goes and gets his coffee and he's like, "Thanks God," like to the cashier or something. Like I don't know, I don't know. But I do have like a problem with him bringing up like accolades of like what he was before um
Before Golden
Golden
State.
State
Yeah.
because, but then again, we have to talk about perspective because we're judging it based on could you like take and lead your team to a championship? Maybe his whole goal or whatever was like, I want to win MVP. So maybe when he accomplished that, he ascended to godhood. I don't know, but all I know is like you got beat when trying to win a championship by LeBron, and then you got beat trying to get back by the team that did win the championship in Golden State, and then you went and joined the team that beat you. You win two championships. You leave and do nothing else, and you want to acknowledge the time before you won the championships where you won nothing and you couldn't do it by yourself, even though you had Westbrook and James Harden. Like what? I don't even know what he's talking about, and that's the problem with like Durant and like how he sees things. I guess it's I think he's got a really like nice inner circle that he pays well that just pump him up because he's got like this weird world that he lives in, and good for him. I mean, it he is who he is, and how he sees things is how he's going to see things. So there's nobody that's going to change his mind. But like from our perspective and like how we see the situation, it's like a gross overestimation of who you are, and I don't know. I don't know. It's just I don't see it when he says these things. I can't relate to how he sees himself because in my eyes, he's accomplished some things and he's super talented. But if you're claiming to be a god, then what are some of these other true winners? What are they? If you consider yourself this, because I don't think anybody else really does. Not a god, like it's kind of. I mean, it's all over inflation, anyways. But it's just like it's kind of a joke. It's just a joke. He's become a joke at this point, almost in terms of how he deals with the media and his social media presence. It's to me, it's just all a big joke. It's a show, whatever.
Mhm. The only time I've heard an NBA player in reference to God was young Michael Jordan in 1986 dropped a 63 piece on the Boston Celtics. Okay. And Larry Bird said, "We just saw God on the basketball court." Because 63 points in the 80s and 90s is ridiculous. All right. That's the only
Oh, and
time I've
also
heard
as the best scorer of all time, or one of the greatest scorers of all time, not to cut you off. What's like Kevin Durant's highest scoring game
in the playoffs.
of all time?
I think he said a 50 piece before. Um, I'll tell you in a minute. Um, so that was the only time I've heard someone mention God
Mhm.
in reference to an NBA player was with when Larry Bird, a GOAT, said that about an up and coming
Mhm.
Michael Jordan. Larry Bird was a champion at that time. Michael wasn't. Michael was actually 6 years from a championship. Kevin Durant's high is 55 in the game. Um,
Mhm.
I think this back and forth that he's been having with Charles Barkley, because it even goes back to this bus rider, bus driver comment. Okay, let's
Mhm.
dig deep into this. Kevin Durant feels like he can shit on Charles Barkley because Charles Barkley never won a championship. Let me be clear when I say this. I am a fan of Charles Barkley. Have always been a fan of Charles Barkley. Do I agree with everything that Barkley says? No. Barkley is right in this, and here's why. Barkley had a chance to play with the Chicago Bulls with Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen before they got Dennis Rodman. He declined the trade. Had he done that, he would have won 2 to 3 championships. That move would have been similar to the move that Kevin Durant made when he decided to go to an already complete championship team. So without Golden State, all Kevin Durant has is an MVP. He did leave his team to the finals, but like you said, he was shitted on by LeBron James and the Miami Heat. Charles Barkley has an MVP, led his team to the championship round against Michael Jordan. He failed, but he averaged damn near 40 points and fell, and then Michael averaged 45. Those guys went at it in that finals.
Mhm.
So, based on that alone, if you take Golden State out of the equation, where Kevin Durant made a decision to go when Charles Barkley said no to his decision, a team who had beat him, by the way, Barkley said no, where Kevin Durant said yes. The totality of their career as far as hardware is identical. So I don't know why Kevin Durant has this high horse where he thinks he can shit on Charles. Because I'm going to be completely
Mhm.
honest with you. Those 2 championships he has in Golden State, even though he kind of shitted on LeBron, means absolutely nothing to me because he didn't leave his team there. So Charles was right in saying he was the bus rider and not the bus driver. Charles is right in that. And I think Kevin Durant kind of gets off. I think that's where some of his ego comes from. Yes, you won an MVP primarily because the media felt sorry for you because you were the good guy in OKC when they pitted you against Russell Westbrook. And then look what happened when you won it. Your attitude completely changed. I have been on the record as far as calling LeBron James a false prophet on this show. You know who else is a false prophet? Kevin Durant. And it's almost as more disgusting as LeBron James's is. Because at least in terms of basketball, LeBron has been consistent with his attitude throughout the duration of his career and has been a great teammate to everyone except for Kyrie Irving, who can't get along with anyone, right? Let's Kyrie Irving's the only one who had a problem playing with LeBron James. Kevin Durant's attitude pivoted once he won that MVP, and then he showed his true colors. So, fuck him. I'm with you
Mhm.
on this. He needs to shut up and play basketball. I'll say it again. He needs, and let me add this: he needs to shut the fuck up and play basketball and lead his next team to a championship. And then maybe people will take him serious because, as you just said, he's a fucking joke at this point. I'm done with that.
Oh wow.
I'm
So
done.
so final.
I'm done.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, I agree. So, no pushback there. I mean, but I think that's how a lot of people feel about him at this point. So,
Can't come
mm,
at Charles Barkley, man. Come on, you can't keep doing that, man. You know, Charles doesn't give a shit. That's why Charles really doesn't fire back. I give a shit. I'm gonna fire back for the 5 people that watch.